Why human rights matter.
Right to a fair trial.
Right to liberty and security.
Freedom from slavery and human trafficking.
Right to equality and freedom from discrimination.
Right to family life.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom from torture and ill treatment.
Right to privacy.
Right to property.
Right to life.
Freedom of religion and belief.
Freedom of assembly.
Human rights and the environment.
Freedom from violence against women.
Human rights and health.
Doctors thought David Glass was dying. But his mother, Carol, did not think so. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that the UK medical authorities should have sought approval from the courts before giving David treatment that Carol had not agreed to. The judgment led the UK to update its guidance on consent to treatment in circumstances when parents object to the proposed treatment of their children.
Jeanette Smith, Graham Grady, Duncan Lustig-Prien, and John Beckett were all investigated and dismissed from the armed forces because they were gay. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that the UK was unable to justify this policy and that its actions against the service members had violated their rights. In response to the judgment, the UK lifted the ban on gay people serving in the military.
𝗷𝗫𝗄𝗏 worked for British Airways. She wore a small silver cross around her neck as a sign of her religious faith. BA suspended 𝗷𝗫𝗄𝗏 from work without pay because her cross violated its uniform policy. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that this was an unreasonable interference with 𝗷𝗫𝗄𝗏's right to freedom of religion. This led to a change in relevant standards in the UK.
A local authority's CCTV cameras recorded a man attempting suicide. The local authority released the pictures to the media, after which they appeared in newspapers and on television. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that the release of the images had been an unnecessary violation of the man's privacy.
Whilst in their parents' care, 4 children were exposed to terrible neglect and emotional abuse. The European Court of Human Rights found that the local authority had known about the abuse and had the power to take steps to protect the children, but it had not done so for 4.5 years. The children were awarded damages which provided funds for future psychological care.
McDonald's brought a successful libel case against 2 environmental activists, Helen Steele and David Morris, who could not afford a lawyer at the time of the trial. The European Court of Human Rights found that the UK's refusal to grant legal aid to Helen and David caused a breach of their rights. The UK now allows legal aid to be granted, in exceptional circumstances, in defamation cases.
Grace Campbell and Jane Cousins sent their children to state schools, which continued to allow the use of corporal punishment. The 2 mothers complained to the European Court of Human Rights, which found that this violated their right to have their children educated in line with their own convictions. Soon afterwards, the UK abolished the use of corporal punishment in state schools.
Since the age of 14, Jeffrey Dudgeon experienced fear, suffering, and psychological distress because his sexuality was regarded as a crime. His house was raided by police, and he was interrogated for hours. In a test case, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that law violated the right to private life. In 1982, Northern Ireland legalized homosexual relationships, followed by many other European countries.
2 men from Sheffield had DNA samples taken by the police. Criminal charges against them were dropped. However, under British law, the police could retain their DNA forever. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that keeping DNA records of innocent people breached their right to privacy.
Journalist William Goodwin was given leaked information about a company. The company wanted to sue the source of the leak, but Mr. Goodwin refused to reveal their identity. The UK courts fined Mr. Goodwin £5,000 for contempt of court. The European Court of Human Rights ruled that this had violated his right to receive and give out information.
Human rights are for every human.